Hey everybody, welcome to the 50th episode of Banjo Quest. Today we're going to take another look at the alternate string pull-off, and I have a really extreme exercise that I want to share with you guys today. I've been struggling with it in preparation for this video, and I thought I would give it to you guys so you guys can struggle with it with me. It's really hard, and this is my challenge. Grab a banjo, pause the video, grab your banjo, tune it to G, and play along with me today. Let's get started on Banjo Quest. All right, so we are revisiting the alternate string pull-off from last week's episode, and let me play that for you just to review, and then I'm going to show you how to really dive in and work on your finesse and touch with your striking hand. Here's the basic version of the pattern. And a little faster. So to start off, you should know that there are 4 notes in this pattern. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. For today's exercise, we are going to practice emphasizing each one of these 4 notes in succession. So let me show you how that's going to play out. Let me do the easiest one first, which happens to be our first downstroke. We're going to emphasize that downstroke, and then everything else, all the other 3 notes are going to get quiet. And faster. Make sure while you're doing this that you are not reducing the quiet notes to nothingness. They still need to be there. They just need to be really, really quiet. Let's move on to the second note. So the second note is our pull-off. We are going to emphasize that pull-off and not any of the other notes. So everything else needs to be quiet. A little faster. That's really hard. All right, let's go again a little faster. That is really difficult. Okay, let's move on to the second downstroke. That is our 3rd note in the series. We're going to emphasize that, and everything else is going to be quiet. Faster. And finally, the last one, and maybe the hardest one, the pull-off was pretty difficult, but let's try to emphasize the final note of the 4-note pattern, and that is our 5th string. Nice and slow to start. Faster. And let's get this up to speed. Okay, we're not done. We are not done. Hold on to your banjo. Let's make this even more difficult. And here's the real challenge. See how many of you guys can do this. We are going to displace the emphasis with every pass of the pattern. So on the first pass, I'm emphasizing the first note, on the second pass, the second, etc. Let me play you what that sounds like really slow. All right, let me try to get this going a little bit faster. And I'm gonna try faster, glutton for punishment. Here we go. So why the heck would we even bother with a difficult exercise like this? Does it have any real world consequences? Well, I think it does, and I use dynamics and microdynamics in my phrases all the time. I like some of my notes to poke out and other notes to be quiet. It's sort of a contouring of your musical phrasing that I think is really interesting. It pulls the listener in, and it's really one of my main expressive tools on the banjo. But there are two approaches you can take to an exercise like this. The first is getting your hands to perform the task, and that's the physical aspect of making dynamics happen at will on the instrument. That is all about cultivating finesse and touch with your striking hand, and in this case with the left hand with your pull-off hand to get that nice big pull-off. So that kind of control really comes in handy, especially if you are interested in adding these kind of dynamics and contouring to your own playing. But the second element of this, and it's easily overlooked in a lot of what we do, is the hearing element. What do you hear? How do you hear the loud notes? How do you hear the quiet notes? Are you good at hearing loud and quiet? Are you good at distinguishing between the two? If you can't hear the difference, if you're struggling to hear that difference, then you need to listen deeper. You need to focus more, or you need to make that difference, that contrast between quiet and loud, much larger. So that's something to think about. We are not only training our hands to execute at a high level, but we are training our ears to hear when things are going the way we want them to go and when they're going the way we don't want them to go. So there are two fronts that you need to attack this problem with, the physical front and the auditory front. That about does it for me today, guys. Thank you for joining me. Good luck on this. This is really difficult. I really struggled with it, and I'm curious how you guys fare as well. Let me know in the comments below, and you can always rewatch this video with your banjo in hand. Pick up your banjo, tune to G, play along with me, and see how you do. If you like content like this, if this helps your playing, please come on over to Patreon, get the full Banjo Quest experience there. I've released 50 videos for YouTube, for the public at large, but over on Patreon, there are about 100, including tab and a whole host of other stuff. Hop on over to Patreon, join us, and I will see you next week on Banjo Quest.